All right, there we go. First time with PowerPoint here. All right, so this live Discord session is going to be about Microsoft Azure 900, which is the fundamentals of Azure. This is a pretty important certification in my mind. A lot of companies will be working with Azure, AWS, Google Cloud. So tonight's session will be on Microsoft Azure. So on our agenda tonight will be our announcements, services we offer. We'll go quickly through that. And is getting certified worth it? So we'll be going over that a little bit. We got some practice questions, just a few to kind of give you the feel of what the questions will be like on this certification. And at the end, I'll send you guys the favorite resources as well, things that I like to use to practice. So upcoming, we have a Splunk class that starts on October 2nd this year. So got a couple more weeks until that starts. That will be 12 weeks of Splunk. And the end goal is hopefully to get users to get their power user cert and their admin as well. So definitely check that out if you are not already enrolled. And just to enroll, you can just go right onto our website. You can do calendar cohorts page, and that'll bring you to the form. We have another Discord live session coming up. We are doing the fundamentals tonight. I think that should just be a first go-to if you have not been introduced to Azure. And the end goal, of course, cybersecurity focused, is the Azure 500, which we will be going over on Thursday the 21st, which will again be at 7 p.m. EST. And lastly, so we have some exciting news, our podcast launch. That's been really fun. So I believe we only have one episode out right now, but we do take open enrollment requests if you want to come on it, or any topics that you want us to go over. We definitely would love to hear from you guys. So with that, as you guys know, services we offer, we love training. So we have a free cybersecurity boot camp on YouTube. You can also get there through our website as well. We have our group training classes, live Discord sessions, one-on-ones, and there's very affordable classes that we have for CrowdStrike, Splunk, other EDRs, and SIEMs, resume reviews, mock technical interviews, guidance on career. If you are transitioning careers, if you're already in the industry, if you're maybe in IT but want to switch over to more cybersecurity focused, we can help you get there. We also have a free road trap that we send out. So anything that you guys need, let us know, and I'm sure we can figure something out for you. We do want you to have direct access to us. We want you to invest in yourself and affordably with what you can right now. And we want everyone to succeed. So any feedback, let us know. Anything you need, anything you want to hear from us, let us know. You can reach us LinkedIn. There's our emails there. You can Discord message us as well. You can add our company on LinkedIn. You can message us directly. We would love to get in contact with you and hear what you like or what you don't like or what you need. All right, so with that, we'll dive into, is Microsoft Azure certification, is this worth it? The answer, I believe, is yes. So as I was saying, this can be a great way to get Microsoft certifications on your resume. It is Azure fundamentals, so it's a little bit less technical, and it introduces you to Azure. It can get you into an IT role working with Azure, and then eventually, you can get the Azure 500, which will get you more into the cybersecurity route. But just quickly here, there are growing demand for cybersecurity and cloud professionals. So I just put up some salary ranges here just to kind of give you guys a ballpark. Entry level Azure cloud security engineer can start at 75,000. So, you are putting time into this, but the certification itself is $99 and can output 75,000. It's well worth it. I think if you start sooner than later, you're ahead of the game. And if you wanted to go a different route, for example, I just threw up Azure DevOps Engineer just because that salary goes up to 225 with a more experienced role. So there's definitely a lot of routes you can take with Microsoft Azure. It kind of just depends on what you're, more interested in or what you're good at. But it's definitely a great way to also go the cybersecurity route as well. So, how to become certified? It is $99 to test, and you actually get 5 attempts to pass in 1 year, which I thought was pretty nice of them. I would hope it wouldn't take 5 attempts. When I first heard that, I didn't know if that meant if it was easy or hard. But you do need to get 700 or above. It's 700 out of 1,000, and it is a multiple choice. So it's usually 40 to 60 questions. I've seen some people get 37 questions, and it probably won't take you the full 60 minutes, but definitely take your time. So when you're confident, well prepared, ready to register for the certification, you will do that through your Pearson VUE Microsoft Learn account. So if you've taken any other certification so far, you go to Pearson VUE, and then you will be making your Microsoft Learn account through there as well. So once you take your exam, you get a scorecard, and that'll have percentages met, where you fell short. No specific questions are provided, of course, because then you could give them out to other people. But you are able to retake a second time in 24 hours, so the next day, and a third time in 14 days from that. And that's where the 5 total attempts come into play in 1 year. So I hope I hope not too many people need to have 5, but you never know. But the option is there, so that's kind of reassuring as well. Don't freak out if you don't pass the first time. But once you do receive your exam results and you passed, you'll get your Credly badge. You can share that on LinkedIn. And certifications are actually good for 1 year, as things are changing constantly. But you can extend the certification online for free annually, and it's a pretty quick process there. But yeah, networking community, engage with us on Discord, ask questions. We have a really good community here with people who want to learn, and people ask questions and also give answers. So it's definitely an awesome spot to just get to know everyone on Discord as well. So with that, we're going to go on to our practice questions. So first off, I did find a lot of the questions were yes or no, which is a little bit stressful because it's 50-50 shot that you do get them right. So just make sure you take your time in reading the questions. So for this one, you are tasked with deploying Azure virtual machines for your company. You need to make use of the appropriate cloud deployment solution. And the solution, should you make use of a platform as a service? Does the solution meet the goal? So here you're going to try and look at the keywords here. You have Azure virtual machines, so you definitely want to take that into account, and for the appropriate cloud deployment solution. So platform as a service, we have platform as a service, infrastructure as a service, and software as a service, as we know. Platform as a service, that provides the platform and the environment for developers to build and manage applications without managing the underlying infrastructure. So this actually doesn't give you the level of control that you need for deploying virtual machines. So again, that's where you can kind of pick out the keywords in these questions, and you can, try and rule out answers. In this case, it's a yes or a no. But if you are familiar with your platform as a service, infrastructure as a service, software as a service, that'll help you out a lot there, and they do go over that in the trainings. So the answer for this would actually be infrastructure as a service, as with that you have more control over virtual machines and can directly manage them, versus platform as a service. I do believe a lot of questions will be involved with that. I've even seen duplicates of these questions, so definitely know your PAAS, IAS, and SAAS. Right, so again, here's another one that is yes or no, which many of them are. So your company is planning to migrate all their virtual machines to an Azure pay-as-you-go subscription. The virtual machines are currently hosted on the Hyper-V host in a data center. You are required to make sure that the intended Azure solution uses the correct model. So the solution, you should recommend the use of the elastic expenditure model. Does this solution meet the goal? So sorry the answers are right there, but I know you can all read anyway, so. But the answer is no. So elasticity is actually not a model, but a characteristic of cloud computing. And it's not a standard term that you'll come across in your studies for Azure cloud computing. The two models are pay-as-you-go and reserved instances. So right there, you can kind of rule it out because elastic exponential model is quite literally not a model, and you will come across it in your studies. But just to let you guys know, the pay-as-you-go model is kind of the default model. You pay for resources as you consume them. It offers flexibility. Whereas the reserved instances, you commit to generally 1, 2, 3-year terms. So it does offer a discounted rate, but if you don't use everything, you would end up overpaying. But just so you guys know, again, the answer is no because that is not one of the two models. All right. All right, and last question here I have for you guys is you have 50 virtual machines hosted on-prem and 50 virtual machines hosted in Azure. The on-prem virtual machines and the Azure virtual machines connect to each other. Which type of cloud model is this? So again, it's more of the high level, not super duper technical questions here. But if you are familiar with your clouds, you will be able to answer this. The answer is hybrid, as you can see. So again, you can look at these keywords and it's hosted on-prem and in the cloud Azure. So as it is hosted on the on-prem data center, that's also called a private cloud. And with a public cloud being Azure, as many organizations use Azure, you can kind of rule it out that it is not a private or a public cloud, but a hybrid cloud. So just make sure you take your time in reading these questions, looking at the clues, and relating them back to your studies. And there definitely are, again, as I said, a lot of yes and no's, which isn't too fun, but you just gotta check out, all your keywords and take your time. And these are my favorite resources. Microsoft Learn honestly does have everything for free online. There's a lot of people on YouTube, Udemy, things like that as well. There is a Cybrary course, and I also like this site as well. You do pay for it after a week, so just keep that in mind. But I did like their lectures and practice tests. But that is all that I have for you today. Definitely feel free to reach out with any questions. We would love to help set on any one-on-one sessions. If there's any more resources that you know of, definitely feel free to share that with us. We would love to know. Share the knowledge, share the wealth. But with that, I will keep an eye on the chat if you guys have anything. But otherwise, that is all I had for you guys tonight.